I am being very, very specific today by doing a very, very real estate centric. Oh, I got a love heart in the morning. That's pleasant. Good morning, Instagram. That made my morning. So it's a very, very real estate centric mantra today. So if you're not in real estate, you know, then you might not like this, but you're welcome to still hang out with the gang, as it were. So the year, sorry, my allergies are playing up a little bit. So the year is off. Let me rephrase. The second half to the year seems to be kind of coming out the gate like gangbusters. The first half of the year, I think the real estate industry was finding itself, kind of figuring out where it was going to go. And it seems like the second half of the year, in conjunction with a bunch of articles that were put out, on, I need stronger glasses, so I'm just going to wave at everybody today, but thank you for joining me. So the real estate industry seems, and I use the word seems to be saying this, that the second half of 2018, the second half of 2018 is going to be really, really good. And there was an article, you should dial this up, on Inman. By the way, I am going to Inman. I will see you guys in San Francisco. I leave tonight, so I'm looking forward to seeing me cronies up in the coldest city in the summer I can think of. Also, my real estate community, I want to ask a favor of you. I'm going to be doing this for the next few weeks. As many of you know, I have a show coming out on Netflix. It is going to be coming out on August the 17th. Now, you are my extended family, so I'm going to say to you, please, please, please tune in, because it's all about the clicks, right? This is not like the regular telly. It's all about the clicks, but I will be promoting the show and telling you all about it, more about it, as that information comes in. So, let me just twist this a little bit. There we go, there we go. So, okay. Let's get into this. So pocket listings, off-market listings, whatever you want to call them, they're part of our industry. I think they will always be part of our industry. They are certainly more a part of our industry when it is a hot market, when it is a seller's market. Sellers are far more open to the suggestion that agents can potentially sell their properties off-market without it needing to go to the MLS, without having to have hordes of people traipse through your house, and without having to have a bunch of strangers rifle through your drawers. So I want to go over some techniques that I have kind of deployed over the years. Many of these, I mean, there are really endless techniques for finding pocket listings, but I want to go over some of them that you might think, oh yeah, you know what, that's absolutely right, I completely forgot about that. So I'm going to start with the really basic stuff first, and then I'm going to get into the juicy stuff, and then I'm going to get into the super creative stuff. So bear with me, strap in, because we're off on a roller coaster. Okie doke, let's begin. Okay, so to you newer agents out there, finding listings that are off market might seem that the theory is, oh, I've got to go bang on a bunch of doors, I'm going to go door knocking and do this, that, and the other. Who's that person? Hey, can you give Ed? Okay. All right. Can't read today. So the thing about finding pocket listings is one imagines that we have to go up and down endless rows of streets knocking on doors, hoping for the chance that we might be able to stumble across a seller that particular day that says, oh, I'm so glad you knocked on my door. I've been waiting for someone to come and knock on my door so I can sell my house. I've never really subscribed to that theory. I've never liked door knocking. So, although I am going to be addressing some strategic door knocking coming up. But let's dig into this with the basic stuff first. Okay, number one. On every MLS system, let's just use, I'm just going to use Santa Monica as an area, right? Santa Monica is a big area of Los Angeles. It's right by the water. And let's imagine that you have a client, a buyer, and buyers are always kind of doing this now. They're always pitting us against, you know, Redfin and Zillow, and they're always looking for our value add, and value add is something that I preach at PLG all the time. So finding off-market listings is definitely having a value add. The MLS, believe it or not, already has a plethora of off-market listings just sitting there for you to take. What do you mean, Pete? Okay, so let's do this. Santa Monica, I have a buyer, potential buyer, let's just say, you know, anywhere from $1 to $4 million. And they said, hey, I really like you, but I need to see off-market things along with on-market things. I'm like, okay, no problem. How the hell do I find off-market listings? I go into Santa Monica on the MLS and I look for anything that has expired, been cancelled, or withdrawn. There will probably be 20, 30, 40, 50 properties that were withdrawn, cancelled, or expired, right? Now, some people say at that point you go and knock on the door and try and get the listing. For me, that seems like too much of a time suck, and just the odds of you getting that listing are so small. Here is the technique I deploy. I check first of all that listing hasn't sold, of course. And then if I find out it hasn't sold and it remained in withdrawn, cancelled or expired, I then call the agent who had that listing for about 4 or 5 months and I go, you know what, your house at 123 Green Street, I think that might actually work for my clients. Do you think you can get me a showing? Now that other agent, the listing agent, has worked that listing for probably close to 4 to 6 months. So they've already put their time in, and if their relationship with the seller is still okay, they are going to work hard to try and get you a showing, and then therefore you're showing your clients things that are off market, and that's easy. Even if the houses aren't perfect, you are showing your buyer clients that you can provide them off-market listings that they cannot find on their own. Okay, that is number one. That's the easiest one of all. Okay, let's get into this. Let me just dial up my notes here. It's my screen closed down. Okay, let me go into my notepad. Okay, if you are in the Los Angeles area and also across the country, there is a new company called Remine. Because this is a live stream, I can't show you a demo on a desktop, but Remine, which is R-E-M-I-N-E, is available to many MLSs across the country. And what it does is it shows you who has equity, how, for example, they have 50% equity, 70% equity, 20% equity. So you can begin to target down on homes if you want to send out mailers or even go door knocking. There is also another category within Remine. And also, if you don't have Remine, let me just decline that call. If you don't have Remine, hopefully you are still there. Oh dear. Are you there? Are you there? Let me go out and in on Instagram. Are you still there? Yep, you're still there. Good. Okay, so there is another app as well. I'm going to race through this because I've got so much information. There is another app out there if you don't have Remine, because Remine might come free with your MLS subscription. It's called Property Radar. Property Radar is magnificent. It's been around for a long time, and it will show you this. You can go into an area and you can target people based upon their equity, based upon how much time they've owned the home, based upon what kind of mortgage they have, whether they've refied, etc., etc., etc. For the purposes of today, I don't want to get too down in the weeds with this. For the purposes of today, I want to talk about pre-foreclosure and foreclosure. I don't really even want to talk about foreclosure. The market has been really, really hot for a long time, so we are beginning to see some pre-foreclosures occur. And through tracking this data, through Remine and through Property Radar, here is what I have found to be the most successful method. And this comes through an old friend of mine who's been in the REO business, which is the foreclosure business, for 2 or 3 decades. And he said to me this: when a pre-foreclosure gets when an owner gets notified that they're in pre-foreclosure, it triggers about 200 letters to go to that person. What did my friend do? This is the one and only time you will hear me recommend door knocking. My friend actually went to the houses, knocked on the door and said, hey, I understand that this has happened. I'm here to be empathetic and to show you that there is actually a way out of here. And I said to him, whoa, great. You must have had a line down the block of realtors who were doing the same thing. He said, no. He said, in my 30 years of doing this, Pete, and he's a very tech-forward guy. In my 30 years of doing this, he said, when I get to a pre-foreclosure, he said, generally 90 out of 100, I'm the only guy that knocks on the door. And he said, the other 10% maybe somebody else has knocked on the door as well, but they're super aggressive and don't really care about the clients. He said, I'm the only fish in the barrel, which is why I'm so successful in this arena. So that is another method for you to find off-market listings, because off-market listings, especially moving forward, is somewhere where there is an enormous amount of value add for people that you're representing as buyers, and just it gives you kind of kudos in the industry anyway. Okay, I got a lot to get through, so let's move on. Let's move on. This is, I'm sorry for you guys who are not in Los Angeles, this is specifically LA right now. I want to give you a couple of websites that actually do have some listings on them, right? There is one that is set up by a mate of mine at another company, and this is called the Pocket Listing Service. So you want to go to thepls.com, thepls.com, because in there you will find, you know, some things. There are definitely some things that are coming to market that are not on the regular MLS. Also in the Los Angeles area, there is another one called the Top Agent Network, TAN, topagentnetwork.com. If you're in the LA area, somebody in your office is probably a member of this, of TAN as we call it. Find out who it is, or even try and join yourself. There is a lot of junk on there, but this is the world of finding off-market listings, which is messy, right? You got to dig through loads of crap to find anything that's half good. But the deal is, you're showing this to people who would never find it. So they're going to think you are this kind of like, oh my God, this guy's got the inside track. Now, the last one I want to go over is this one. Believe it or not, Zillow. Zillow, yes, Zillow has a potential listings category. You just go to the homepage, right? And our clients probably will not do this. Most clients just look at what comes into the feed. They don't really do too much digging around. A lot of people won't know what some of these things are. But if you go onto the homepage of Zillow and then you click on the for sale tab, right? There is a place where it says, you can go onto the map grid, right? I'm looking at this right now. You go onto the map grid and you look at buy, and then you look, there's another tab next to the box where it says, you know, various potential listings by agent. Nope, I don't want to do that one. For sale, by owner, new construction, foreclosures, coming soon. Coming soon are properties that agents are putting on Zillow to promote before they hit the MLS. Then you also have foreclosed, pre-foreclosure, make me move. There are about 10 different categories here. And I'm just going to type in Los Angeles and see how many come up. Live experiment. Okay, it's ridiculous. I've got over, there's so many, it won't even load. There's probably 700 or 800 listings here that are not on the open market, and I'm finding those through Zillow. Now, again, they're not going to be like easy peasy. Some of them are going to be like horrible people that just hate real estate agents. But if you say to them, you know what? I'm not looking to get the listing, but if I bring you a buyer, will you pay me? Most of the for sale by owners will most likely give you a crack at it. So I want to recap this because I just rattled through a gang load of information. And I'm also going to put this in the notes as well. Also, if you are watching this on Instagram, on my main feed Instagram, in the top corner here, hit the 3 buttons, hit the 3 dots, and get my notifications, because I'm always coming out with tips and tricks and lots of good stuff. Let me rattle through these one more time. To find pocket listings, off-market listings that are not on the MLS, number 1, go through the expireds, cancelled, and withdrawns. Cross-reference them to make sure that they haven't sold, and then contact the agents and say you may have a buyer for that property. Okay? Number 2 is you can go onto Zillow and look at potential listings, right? Potential listings where you have for sale by owner, pre-foreclosure, foreclosure, make me move, coming soon, all of these various categories that are not on the MLS. In Los Angeles area, you've got thepls.com. And in the Los Angeles area, you've also got Top Agent Network. Top Agent Network. So between those people, you should be able to find a bunch of pocket listings that you otherwise would not have access to without having to go and knock on doors. Now, if you work with developers, another way to find, or rather, if you work with buyers who want new construction, another way to find pocket listings is to drive around and look at building sites and show your clients their houses before they hit the market. Any developer would always prefer to sell their house before it's finished than when it hits the market, because then they might not need to stage it, spend money on marketing, and they may not need to pay a listing agent. They can just pay you. So hopefully in there, my lovelies, there are some tidbits of some really useful techniques of how to find off-market listings. A little bit down in the weeds today with techniques, but I got a lot of compliments last week when I was going through, you know, my kind of like play-by-play on the last one. So I decided to do a play-by-play of pocket listings this week. And next week I will have something else. I am looking forward to seeing everybody in San Francisco. I'm going to be there tonight through Friday. Can't wait, actually. And then August 17th is the Netflix show. It's called Stay Here, and I really, really want your support. So please, 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 please give it. I will release details as they come out. Until next time, I want to thank everybody for tuning in to Money Mantra. Whew, great way to start the week. I am freaking fired up. I can't wait to get going. And if anybody needs anything, give me a shout. Until next time, mwah! I will see you later. Adios.